Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ahmad, Nawaz, with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, we will tell you the update from the Pakistan Cricket Board, where the cricket committee that was being led by Mr. Najm Sethi has been dissolved. Their tenure and mandate is now over, and the PCB Chief Election Commissioner has taken charge as the acting chairman of the PCB. Details are in front of us. And if you want to know how things will proceed now, Board of Governors will be appointed and then elections will proceed. And Shehzad Farooq Rana, the election commissioner of the Pakistan Cricket Board, is now the acting chairman. The cricket committee has been dissolved, and now if you look at the current scenario, two names that have been proposed and have been given to be added to the list of the Board of Governors have been approved. They include Mr. Zaka Ashraf, former chairman Pakistan Cricket Board, and Mr. Mustafa Ramde, advocate Supreme Court. These two members will now be part of the PCB Board of Governors as well, and it is very likely that Mr. Zaka Ashraf will be the new chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board as things proceed according to the constitution of the Pakistan Cricket Board. So obviously it will take time, but so far I think everybody is sure that Mr. Zaka Ashraf will be the next chairman of the PCB. Then we talk about the Ashes 2023 first test at Edgbaston went to Australia's name. One of the best test matches that we've seen this season, and what a spectacle. We were glued to the television. We were absolutely glued, and I think we were having a brief chat as well in between me, Kashif bhai, Asif. Asif did predict that it's Australia. The odds were 3-1 against him, but I have to congratulate the guy. He's certainly blessed, I think. He's got some charms in his pocket, but Australia have done it in style, and I think England would be very, very disappointed. Character from Australian team, especially their captain Pat Cummins, the way he was batting those last couple of overs, not only chasing that target down, but just blocking every delivery, letting it go if it's a short ball, dropping your hands down. It was a character of a proper batter from Australia that was shown by the skipper Pat Cummins. So I think congratulations to Australia. They're 1-0 up, and England are going to have their run for the money now because one off, you've lost one test match, you've got to make a comeback. Australia is not going to let you go this easy, so it's going to be very, very difficult for England. But Usman Khwaja is the player of the match. Congratulations to him. He was superb throughout. Then we talk about the ICC Test Player Rankings. Joe Root has once again risen to #1 spot. Babar Azam stays in the top 5. Manas Labuschagne reign as #1 batter in Test cricket comes to an end. Then we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, who has set a new record of the men's list for most international appearances. He received the Guinness World Record for this milestone as well, his 200th game for his side, Portugal. So that's what we're discussing on the show in detail, and Cristiano Ronaldo is a stalwart indeed. But right after this short break, we'll have the details. Stay tuned. And now to discuss things in detail, introducing our guests. First of all, in studios, we've been joined by cricket commentator, broadcaster and presenter, our cricket expert, also the recent part of the Kangaroos, Mr. K. Asif Ahmad. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, Ahmad. I'm very well, and let me ask you, who is Australia?
Well, I think it's a country probably, or a continent maybe. I'm still in shock right now. Well, also joining us is cricket commentator, cricket expert as well. He's been the voice of cricket on radio and also on television. We will be talking about not just the Ashes, but everything in detail, because he's got a complete analysis of happenings of sports all around the world, particularly when we talk about cricket. Mr. Kashif Shabbir joins us. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Kashif?
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We've also been joined by senior sports journalist Syed Haider. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir? Right, Syed, what would you like to add, particularly about when we talk about the changes that are happening now in the Pakistan Cricket Board? I think it's eminent now, although there is a process that needs to be followed that will be handled by the acting chairman of the PCB. But more likely, I think everybody showed that Mr. Zaka Ashraf will be the next chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board.
Yeah, it's a part of our system that we are such a nation that we always try to get a new cricket board chairman if the regime has been changed. But it's not our matter who is the chairman. The main thing is that what he's doing. This is very important for the cricket, because if anyone, Zaka Ashraf or any other person who is the chairman of the PCB, if he's doing good for the cricket, then I think he's very useful, very fruitful for the Pakistan cricket. Zaka Ashraf, personally, I know him. He's a very good man, very sober and very serious man, and he is a good businessman. He knows very well that how to implement the decisions, how to get the better results. He knows very well how to connect the other organizations, because just we are going entering into the corporate cricket. So I think Zakasha will be more better than the before Najam Sethi, because Najam Sethi, he was not a businessman, but Zakasha, he is a businessman. He knows how to get the connections with the big organizations and to get them in the cricket system. What I expect positively from Zakash, that he was 2 times the Pakistan Cricket Board chairman, so he knows that what are the really problems there in the PCB and why we are not getting the exact result, as some controversial things have been happened in last weeks, like Asia Cup or World Cup match or something. And Zakaria, he was the person in first time when he was the chairman of the PCB. Pakistan got one series against the India. It was very crucial for the Pakistan, and I hope and I make hope that Zakaria will do something for the Pakistan-India cricket relations.
Well, that's, I think that is the crux, because of the World Cup, the Asia Cup, everything hanging in the balance. There was a lot of focus there. But this brief tenure from this cricket committee, I think they deserve congratulations, because they've done a fine job so far, implementing the first class system back again, which it was previously, as it was decided that departmental cricket would be restored. So things were in the process, but obviously they had a mandate. This was a cricket committee, an interim cricket committee, and that mandate was given an extension by the Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, and after that extension, that tenure is now complete. So therefore, things had to move forward. It was a natural process according to the constitution of the Pakistan Cricket Board. But Asif, like I said, more or less, Mr. Zakar Ashraf would be appointed the next chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board. How are you seeing this tenure now? Once again, obviously, he's been there in previous times as well.
Well, Ahmad, I think that changing in the Pakistan Cricket Board right before the Asia Cup and the World Cup, I think it's not a good idea for me, to be very honest, that because you know that you have given time to Najam Sethi, because you cannot implement all the policies within a year or 8-9 months, and where you know the rest of the teams, they're planning for the Asia Cup and the World Cup. We guys are changing here in the cricket board. I don't want to talk about anything like this, because you know that if you do remember 2011, that was the first time that Zakar Ashraf was nominated as chairman Pakistan Cricket Board. I agree with Haider that he's an experienced person, so might be he could bring something special in Pakistan cricket. But most important thing is that who is good
right,
for
we'll just go towards a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Sports Sector. We're discussing changes in the Pakistan Cricket Board hierarchy now, of course, moving to a new tenure with the acting chairman of the PCB, the Chief Election Commissioner, and two names that had been proposed of Mr. Zakasher and Mr. Ramde to be part of the PCB Board of Governors as well. Kashif bhai, how do you see this development as far as the Pakistan Cricket Board is concerned? Asif raised a very critical point as well, that right before two important tournaments, Asia Cup, of course, region-centric, but then the World Cup also coming. These two are factors, but at the same time, this was an interim cricket committee with a specific mandate.
I tend to agree with Asif. Maybe the right decision, but at the wrong time, I would say, because Pakistan at this junction is going through a difficult time. We are fighting cricket diplomacy against a very powerful nation, cricket-playing nation. Secondly, we are very close to Asia Cup, to World Cup, and the biggest event, the Champions Trophy, coming up in 2024. So I think if this decision would have been delayed for a year or so, it might have been a better position for Pakistan, because Najam Sethi has taken a very strong stance against India, and he was advocating Pakistan's stand throughout the world. So I thought that this was not the right time to take this decision, because there should have been a consistency in the policy, number one. And my major concern is that this position, the PCB chairman position, should be apoliticized. It should not be affected by any political government, whether coming in or going out, because you know here the future of many young cricketers, that is on stake. Remember, in the last government, a unilateral decision was taken that all the departmental cricket was abolished. And because of that, you know, many young cricketers, they lost their jobs. So that was a big crisis that came up in the cricket fraternity. So I still think that this should have been taken, this decision should have been taken after the World Cup, or preferably after the Champions Trophy.
Very true. And I think particularly we need to understand that a lot is at stake when you talk about cricket in Pakistan. And there are a lot of people that are affected with any decision. Sir Haider, particularly if we see the dynamics and the constitution of the Pakistan Cricket Board, it is very pertinent to mention that, you know, Chairman PCB is a very authoritative and powerful post as per constitution of Pakistan and the Pakistan Cricket Board as well. There is a decision-making entity that power rests with the Chairman PCB as well. But over the years, due to certain political dynamics in Pakistan, something that you know, me, you and everybody else will agree to, I'm sure, that do we all believe now that time has come for this new setup of the PCB, whoever it is, and the current government or the next government, that they sit down and devise a policy where it is not affected wherever there is a political scenario in the country, that Pakistan Cricket Board's hierarchy should have a complete mandate, a tenure that needs to be respected?
Yeah, exactly. It's really need of the time. If we see nations like Australia, England, or New Zealand, there is no influence of the government in the cricket board. Only the Pakistan, India, and Sri Lanka. They the influence, but we say that it's an autonomous body, but we don't see that it's autonomy there. All the powers belong to the chairman of the PCB, and we have seen that in the Najam Sethi time. He has announced all the small things also. I think this is not the demand of the chairman of PCB. It's a demand of the selection committee chairman, or it's a demand of the other people. So I think Chairman PCB, he should be only a governing person, but it should not be a decisive person for all the type of the cricket. Our system needs some changes. Really, we have to go with the world. Otherwise, we will be in ancient world. I'm really unsatisfied from this situation that after every 6 months or 1 year, new chairman come, and every government, when it has been changed, they are appointing their own persons at this very important position. So why it is, I don't know, but system really, it has to be changed. And we have a lot of people, they don't have any political relation or political influence from the government, and they have good administration ability, and they can manage, they can run the PCB, and they can do everything. So time is now this is the best time. What can we do? But I think in this year, I think it's not possible. After the election and new government, they can do some reform, but it's a need of the time.
Absolutely, it is. One thing is for sure that the structure should not be meddled with. What Kashif bhai also mentioned, that immediately a certain policy came in that departmental cricket was scratched. The regional cricket was moved to only 6 participating regions with the first and second playing 11. We had no contingency, we had no plan B where to adjust hundreds of people who would lose their jobs and where they would go. So I think one credit that does go to the interim cricket committee being led by Mr. Najam Sethi is that they got things back on track, presented a proposal once again to start departmental cricket, and the first class structure moved back, including the youth cricket as well. So that credit will always go to them, but nonetheless we hope for a fruitful tenure of the new PCB regime and something that is good for Pakistan cricket and Pakistan in general. Now we take our focus to the Ashes, where Australia have won the first test match against England at Edgbaston, and I think the only man happy than Australia or Australian fans is going to be K. Asif. Yes, sir.
Well, of course, you know that what I had said, that Pat Cummins had shown in his innings, that they don't give up. They fight till the last delivery. Look at their resilience power. Look at their strong nerves. That let's suppose if this Pakistan face the same scenario, that 70 runs required and only 3 wickets remaining, what could happen? We do understand that the Pakistan cricket team they don't fight. So that's why I like Australia. And right before the program, as we were discussing, how Pat Cummins, he was leading from the front. He has taken all the responsibility on his shoulders. And, one time when Alex Carey, he played a very, very pathetic shot there. And that was the moment where I thought that now England is in the game. But Nathan Lyon, he came up and he was playing with the straight back.
But you're also not happy with Ben Stokes' captaincy, as you mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. See, being cricket commentator, if you are looking things that if your bowlers, they're bowling bounces, they're trying to bowl in the middle and trying to hit the chest, then there should be a couple of fielders around the batters. And let's suppose a short fine leg or silly mid-off, that you put pressure on the batter. So have you seen that how Pat Cummins was taking singles so nicely with the soft hand, either on the offside, on the fine leg area? That was one thing which I think that Ben Stokes missed that chance, that he didn't put the pressure on the batters. And Pat Cummins was so comfortable with his batting, either against the spinners or the fast bowlers, because, he scored 14 runs against Joe Root. And good thing that now I'm thinking that is a proper all-rounder for Australia.
Right. Well, Asif, my cricket coach and my guru and a very proud member of our IT department, Mr. Kesar Sati, is saying that he also agrees with you on this scenario of bad captaincy from Ben Stokes. I've just been told. So
you should tell him that, who is Australia?
Who is Australia? I'm going to put this as a bumper sticker on the guy. But Kashif, particularly, where do you think England lost the match in this test match?
First of all, I would like to share this credit which all has been given to the Australian side. I will share it with the English team because, this new trend in cricket has been given by the English side, number one. Secondly, the taste of test cricket has already been changed by the way they are playing this cricket now. Secondly, if you critically dissect the first test match, I would say that the first day, the declaration of the English side when the score was 393, one of your best batsmen was playing at his top best, and he was scoring around 14-15 runs in every over, and you declare at 393 for 8 wickets. I think that was an over-ambitious declaration made by Ben Stokes, number one. Secondly, in the second inning, I think they did not take the new ball at the right time, because I think when the ball was due, that was the right time to take the new ball, especially when you have 2 new batsmen on the crease, number one. Secondly, both the new batsmen, they are predominantly tail enders. So I think that was the right time when the pressure should have been exerted on the last 2 batsmen. And thirdly, the main person who is known to use the new ball in a particular way is Jimmy Anderson, and he was not used by Ben Stokes. I think these were the 3 main reasons what led to this defeat for England. But nevertheless, I think England played a very, very good cricket match, and the way they fought against Australia was absolutely marvelous.
Kashif, character from Usman Khwaja, he's the player of the match. I think this can be rated as a personal comeback for him as well.
No, it was he showed the character, Usman Khwaja, but I think he was a bit slow in the second inning. He was a bit too defensive because of his defense, the pressure was exerted on the Australian batsmen and on the Australian tail-enders. Had he been a bit more aggressive, it would have been a bit different story. Because if you look at the second innings of England, the wickets kept on falling, but the way they were, pacing their inning was absolutely the right way of doing it. I think this is the mindset which has been changed by McCullum. What is McCullum's strategy? McCullum's strategy is only the change in the mindset, the positive attitude. All the loose balls that you get, just hit them to the boundary, and all the good balls that you receive, just take 1 or 2 singles. In a test match, if you take 4 or 5 singles in an over, that is too much for a team. That is what is required for the team. And this is the simple strategy of Brandon McCullum. And this is what Bazball is all about.
Absolutely. We saw one of these training videos as well, where Ben Stokes was practicing hitting down the ground, and he missed a couple of deliveries, and he just, he banged his bat on the ground and threw it away. And then McCullum straight away was standing behind him, came in, picked up the bat himself and he hit about 5-6 balls straight down the ground, smashing. And I was thinking that the guy can still bat. So, that strategy is something that will keep Test cricket alive for the next generation. I agree with Kashif bhai on this one. Sir Haider, you got to applaud these 2 teams. I know Ashes is the biggest spectacle of Test cricket, but as Kashif bhai also mentioned that you know, it is because of reasons like this, chasing a target down, the interest in a test match, going to the very last you know, session or dying minutes of the day is something that is keeping test cricket alive.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a show of two big teams. Both played very well. Both batsmen, bowlers, they done very well. I think Ben Stokes, he did some mistakes. We can admit that. But main thing is that Australia was answering very positively. If you see the baseball cricket from England, then Australia was not also behind England, and they have given same answer to England. So the batting, what has been shown by the Pat Cummins, I think it's a very big show of the passions. How can you win the match? After the match, he has got a press conference, Pat Cummins, and he said that I knew that we can win it. We can win it. But we have always tried to get the victory after the passions. This is very necessary. If you are on the wicket and you are believing yourself, then you can get it. If you can remember, the same story was in Multan Test against England, Pakistan-England Test, where Pakistan lost the match, but in England, Australia won the match because the batsmen on the crease, they were believing in themselves and they were towards the victory. This is very necessary. What I was surprised that England have not chosen any regular spinner. Jack Leach in Birmingham, always you need a regular spinner. Why they have not taken? This is a question. If a regular spinner could be there, then some problems can be happen for the Usman Khawaja. He has got a century and he was the batting hero. And if you see the Australia is a mixture of the some quick batting and some very defensive batting. So I think Australia has something more than England, that they have a good mixture. But England, they are doing some baseball, some fast cricket. So they are a very different team like at this moment in the world. But it was a good show. I think I haven't seen in this year like this match is still not. And it was a big match and it will be remembered for a long time.
Indeed, it will be. Now, Asif, we can talk about the strategy of McCullum, Ben Stokes, the way Australia have shown characters, everything. But the recent #1 again in Test cricket rankings, Joe Root, I want you to talk us through that reverse ramp shot for a 6-over third man on deliveries that are 140 plus. I mean, if there was anything practically implemented towards the strategy of baseball, somebody asked me, I want to see a practical example of baseball, I would say Joe Root.
Well, I mean, see, yeah, Joe Root, he always play with the straight bat. Everyone knows that he's technically so perfect. But in a test match, especially in Ashes, when he's trying to play a reverse sweep shot, then credit goes to Brendan McCullum. And that's why we guys are talking about the sense and the mindset, what he brought actually in the test cricket. That is phenomenal. One thing. Secondly, if you talk about the strategy of both of the teams, see, everyone knows that the Australians also play aggressive cricket. And this is what we have watched last night. The way Pat Cummins were playing, you know, that Joe Root, Ben Stokes brought Joe Root and he bowled a couple of flighted deliveries. And Pat Cummins was so confident that he's playing over the bowler's head with the long off and long on for the maximum. What does it mean that, yes, 50 runs remaining, 2 wickets are required for England, but still you would have to play positive cricket. You are receiving loose delivery, just go for the hit. I think the Australian, they're getting the mind of Brendan McCullum, and that's why for a long time, if you talk about the Ricky Ponting's captaincy, even if you go to the Steve Waugh, when Steve was the captain, you do remember that, I mean, the Australian, they used to play the same kind of cricket, either the test cricket or ODI. So I think the Asian countries, especially I talk about the Pakistan, we should learn these techniques. We should learn these strategies. What happened against the England in the first test, that we were on the back foot, we were on the defensive approach, and we lost against, actually the pitch was really flat, and what chairman said that I didn't know on that time, Ramiz Raja, I didn't know what happened with the pitch. So I think with these kind of cricket, rightly said by Haider Bhai, that we enjoyed a lot in these times.
But it's about different strategies, isn't it? They've got baseball, we've got Kudrat Ka Nizam. It's
Yeah, that's right. But Ahmad, see that's why I'm saying that we should learn these kind of strategies. Yes, Qudrat ka nizam is there, but first your efforts.
Yeah. Well, Kashif, have you ever tried a sort of a shot over third man for a six? Have you ever
Never,
thought?
never. And I will never do it again. And you were talking about Joe Root. I would say that Joe Root was one of the very disciplined batsmen in the cricket
Textbook,
world.
yes.
Disciplined batsman,
Yes.
but now he is ill-disciplined. This is what baseball is all about. And secondly, you know, what I said earlier was that the trend, the mindset, McCullum has totally changed the mindset of the English players. Now they are not afraid of losing any test match. They are very, very confident. They are always in a happy mood. They are laughing around. You know, they are enjoying their game. That is the main plus point for the English side. And look at the way Joe Root has, you know, he has timed his inning. And you know, he is the only player who has been, you know, stumped after scoring 11,000 runs in the Test cricket. So this was the first time that he was stumped in the test match. So this is what the change has been brought about in English side.
Yes, yes.
You know, when you have watching this kind of match, Asia's first delivery, Pat Cummins bowling, and Zach Crawley hitting over the extra cover. What does it mean?
No, but that was a loose delivery from.
Even then, you know that Kashif.
That's why I said
So
who's
this
Australia.
is the
after that
positive
delivery.
trend. This is the positive trend.
Yes,
How
this
many
is what I'm
times-
saying. Yeah.
How
This-
many times did you see in this test match ball outside the off time, left all alone, and ball going to the wicket keeper? None, almost none.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is the mindset which is
Mindset,
Yes,
exactly.
and credit goes to Brendan McCullum. Of
I'm
course.
sure you're going to see a new mindset in Sri Lanka as well when Pakistan goes and play there, and you will definitely talk about certain shot selection there as well. But Sir Haider, you got to applaud Joe Root, #1 batter in the world, class apart, like technically sound batter, but he's also adjusting to this new strategy of baseball as well. But it can go either way.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Root is one of the best batsmen today, cricket world, and his technique really, it's according to textbook. I have seen him very early days when he was very young, and that time in Yorkshire County, and from the beginning he's very sound in technique, and now he's playing just another cricket like baseball cricket, but it's still his class, his line, his timing, his footwork is still really I think it's a sample for our new future batsmen. They have to see, and they can learn too much from the Joe Root.
Well, definitely, and that wraps up cricket. But before we go, we've also got to tell you that Cristiano Ronaldo has made an impressive record. He now holds a Guinness World Record for the most appearances by a player internationally. 200th game for Cristiano Ronaldo, 200, and before that it was Badal Al-Mutawa who played 196 games. He received the Guinness official world record as well. So this is a man who does not only take league football seriously, but also is international. And I think the key to that lies in discipline, doesn't it, Asif? Because the more you discipline yourself, and we all know that if there was one disciplined sports personality throughout the world, it had to be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, of course, you know that being sportsman, I love his personality, and especially if you ask me, because you know that I'm not fond of football, but if you ask me one player of the world, I will definitely go behind Cristiano Ronaldo. I like his personality, I like his energy, each and everything, and credit goes to him. Congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo
Yes.
and his fans. I think you're one of these.
I am,
Yeah.
because, you know, ever since I heard he's got a whole team that, you know, there's a meeting every day in the morning, his chef, his nutritionist, his gym trainer, they're all deciding what he's going to eat today, how is he going to train. I think that is something spectacular, and that's why, you know, you get to be the best in the world, because of that routine and discipline you bring into life. But Sir Haider, Kashif bhai and Asif, thank you very much for joining us. Before we go, we've got to send out a very special message that it's getting pretty hot as far as the weather is concerned. All of you need to stay hydrated as much as you can. We've seen some incidents here and there as well, but I want all of you who are going outdoors to keep yourself hydrated and you know, keep yourself in the shade as well. It's very important. NDMA has also given an advisory, and of course, if you've got friends like me in South Punjab or in Sindh, then go get those delicious mangoes as well, because I was just surprised yesterday when I received a package at my doorstep. So I got to thank one very particular individual, Mr. Balaj. Thank you very much for sending this love of mangoes. So all of you out there, whether you know who is Australia or who it isn't, keep sending mangoes to all of your friends if you're in South Punjab and Sindh. But that wraps it up from me and the entire team of Sports Extra. It's goodbye for now.